Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's hard. It's definitely hard, but it is effective. So most of our training week doesn't actually need to be that specific towards whatever event we're racing next or whatever goal we're training for. You know, most of long distance running and training is just building up a strong aerobic base. So that's what we focus on most of the time. But there is one exception, the long run. The one time each week when I do try to get a little bit more specific towards whatever I'm racing next. You know, a couple examples would be if I'm racing a road marathon, I might be able, or I might try to get in some, you know, some long tempo work, right? Stuff that I'm running at my goal marathon pace, you know, for 2 times 5K or, you know, something like that. Now, what I've been training mostly for is stuff on the trails. So that's a little different, but really just try to mimic whatever course I'm racing. Now, when it comes to trail running, especially longer ones, ultras and such, I found these specific type of long runs to really be a huge game changer. What I like to do when I'm looking at my goal race is download the elevation profile and start from that with calculating what I need to run on these runs. So what I'll do is I'll look at my race. Let's say it's a 50K and it has 6,000 feet of elevation gain. And I'll simply divide the elevation gain out over the 50K. Just calculate how many feet per mile that is. And that's what I'll start trying to aim for on my long runs. So that's the first phase of the training block. Maybe 3 to 5 weeks, depending on how long the training block is. Just focusing on the vert per mile that's, you know, equal to my goal race. And that'll get me kind of just conditioned and ready for the race itself. Okay, so the next phase, this is where it gets really fun. I'll look at the course, same as before, but now I'm gonna build out routes locally that actually mimic the elevation profile of the course. Now the next thing to cover is breaking up long runs. Tying into what we were just talking about with, you know, breaking up sections of your goal race and really trying to get in training similar to the exact course profile. Also can break up a same long run on, say, one weekend, right? A Saturday and Sunday. So learned this from Dr. Matthew Lay when Matt was coaching me, where he would prescribe, let's say, goal race was a 50 miler, and we'd go out and run 30 Saturday, 20 Sunday, obviously as like the biggest peak weekend. But just in general, on the rest of the training weeks, really, really great way to, you know, get the volume in, get you prepared, and then like what I was just talking about, you know, mimic certain key sections of a course on each of those runs on, you know, whatever terrain you can find locally. So it's actually what I'm doing today, although I'm not course specific right now, but I'm just getting in a second medium long run the day after a long run. So I love doing it. Super key part of my training. But yeah, I can't sugarcoat it. The first few miles on the second long run, they're pretty miserable. Everything in you says, do not run this again. I just did this yesterday. But it does get better usually. Now there's a lot more to cover on long runs. Fueling is a big part, obviously, and you know, timing, recovery, especially when you're double stacking. But I think this is enough to kind of get you started. So yeah, leave some thoughts below.